Pleasant good morning. I'm Daniel Ankra. Welcome. This is LNTV News Live from Pinsville. Welcome to the news presentation. Top stories this morning. The Central Bank of Liberia announces reinforcement of its monetary policy to stabilize the Liberian economy. 5 members die overnight at their home on the Dupont Road. The House of Representatives cites authorities of the Ministries of Health, Foreign Affairs, Commerce, and Education to appear before that body tomorrow. Away from home, the last Ebola patient leaves treatment center in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Those are the top stories this morning on this presentation of LNTV News Live. After this break, we will be right back. Keep watching. Welcome back to LNTV News Live. The Liberian leader George Weah has nominated Mr. Augustine Kinangwe as city mayor of Dubo City, Trumbull District in Grand Crew County. The executive manager announced Mr. Nangwe's appointment Tuesday, March 3. The appointment is subject to confirmation where applicable by the Liberian Senate. In its strides to stabilize the country's economy, the central bank, through its board of governors Tuesday, announced a series of measures to reinforce the bank's monetary policy. The decision was contained in a communique as read by the central bank governor, Aloysius Talu.
Having considered the developments in the Q4 and given the level of inflation forecast for the quarter ahead, the Board of Governors deemed it prudent to continue with the tight monetary policy stance while monitoring macroeconomic and market conditions in the economy over the next 3 months, next quarter. 1, the board took the decision to maintain the monetary policy rate at 30%, despite the downward inflation spiral to 23.6% as at end January 2020, premised on the following reasons. To support monetary policy in line with the lingering and forward-looking macroeconomic conditions, to sustain the positive rate of return on investment in the financial instruments and maintain the store of value of $14 Liberian, to allow for greater time lag in observing the effect of monetary policy rate on the movement of inflation, to also further strengthen market confidence and deepen sensitization for more public participation in the financial instruments, and lastly, to adjust for global growth uncertainty, including the coronavirus uncertainty.
Well, for his part, the head of the Bankers Association of Liberia, John Davis, described the central bank's action as encouraging. Moving forward to our next story now, as countries across the world suggest to prevent the coronavirus, the legislature Tuesday invited the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Education, Health, and Commerce before that body. The communication to invite those ministries were presented by Representative Carlos Gray, who is seeking, among other things, an inquiry into preventive measures put in place by the country to withstand the shock of coronavirus.
It's a very serious universal concern. And not only that the virus affects only Asia, Europe, or the United States of America, but the virus in our Liberian parlance will say has shown face in the West African region. And Liberia being an interior part of the West African region, it is important that we take all precautions and every precautions. So there is a need for the Ministry of Health, and not just the Ministry of Health, the Minister of Health, but all of relevant health authorities in our country that have expert knowledge on tackling virus or medical issues in Liberia. It's important that we meet these people so that we can have an insight on preventive measures that are being taken or that will be taken. Also, we don't want to be taken by surprise, because when the Ebola situation occurred in Liberia, it didn't only break down our entire health system, but it was the issue of emergency funding. And the budget pass did not take into consideration emergency funding, and we did not preempt that there would have been the breakout of such virus in the world. So it's important that as we approach our recast budget, it's important to consider in the recast budget what we put there for emergency situation just in case.
Well, also speaking, Montserrat County District 17 lawmaker Henson Kazulu is concerned about the safety of Liberian citizens, particularly those in the affected provinces in China.
Currently, there is a global epidemic, a rampaging from one country to another. Though we have not received it in Liberia, but we are on the alert to see that we are not invaded by such a virus. Beside us in country, we have some of our citizens around the world, especially China, where the virus started. Somewhere in pursuit of education, some for business. Now they are quarantined in China. So I thought it wise to bring it to plenary so we can invite the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Education, so they can appear before us and give us the status of our citizens in China and what are the precautionary measures that as a country we are taking so they will know they are coming from a sovereign country.
In another development now, in the Carfield area in Dupont Road, residents there woke up Tuesday morning in disbelief after discovering that 5 members of a family died in their sleep overnight. The 5 persons included a mother and her 4 kids. It's believed that they died from suffocation reportedly caused by smoke from a power generator. As you now see in this very mournful video, the bodies were packed into the Health Ministry ambulance and taken away under the protection of the Liberia National Police.
Let it move. I don't everybody
Very sad scenes there. Liberia's ambassador to the United Nations, D. Maxwell Sakemeya, is encouraging the United Nations to approach peacekeeping in a different way, especially when it comes to the management of transitions in ways that will respond to a changing security environment and current global realities. Ambassador Sakemeya was speaking at the International Peace Institute Speaker Series in New York, the USA.
More needs to be done to further consolidate the gains made, as well as address current economic challenges, so as to strengthen the resilience and ensure the sustenance of peace, security, and democracy in Liberia. I would like to close on what I would perceive as an ideal approach or advice that will guarantee successful peacekeeping as well as for transition purposes. 1. Before a peacekeeping mission is deployed, the root causes of the conflict should be fully diagnosed and understood, as well as the social, cultural, and political practices of a country. And in case of transition, the social, political, and economic status of the country as well should be assessed in order to take appropriate measures during the
Well, meanwhile, Ambassador Kemea also expressed thanks to the United Nations for successfully keeping peace operations in Liberia, which led to the peaceful transition of the government in 2017.
The adoption of UN Security Council Resolution 2333 was timely and appropriate and played a critical role in facilitating a smooth transition process, including from a peacekeeping president to a UN country team. The resolution prolonged UNMISS stay and facilitated the transitional process in ensuring the protection of civilians and ensured that Liberia was appropriately advised on the reform of justice and security institutions and made efforts to combat sexual and gender-based violence. Then came in the Peace Building Commission, which took a further step in aiding the efforts of the Liberian government and UNMISS in developing a peace-building plan for Liberia. A major requirement.
Ambassador D. Maxwell Sakemi out there speaking. Well, if you're just joining us, then you're right to the right spot. This is the official newscast from the Liberia National Television, and I'm Daniel Ankara presenting top stories this morning. The Central Bank of Liberia announces new monetary policies aimed at stabilizing the economy. 5 members, unfortunately, dies overnight at their home due to suffocation on Dupert Road. The House of Representatives cites authorities of the Ministries of Health, Foreign Affairs, Commerce, and Education to appear before it on Thursday. Away from home, the last Ebola patient leaves the quarantine center in DRC. When we come back, these stories are up. Keep watching. We'll be right back. Welcome back to LNTV News Live. The disaster, a 4-day post-disaster needs assessment training is currently ongoing in Monrovia. The training is organized by ECOWAS to prepare its member states for disaster management. Well, according to the head of the Disaster Management Agency, Henry Williams, disaster management is of major concern that must claim the attention of relevant stakeholders. Mr. Williams spoke Tuesday at the opening.
When disaster takes place, we have destruction, we have disruption of life. Social aspects are also disrupted. For instance, in agriculture, farmland is lost, nutritional values are lost. In education, schooling is disrupted. Socially, economically, even mobility, which is the transport sector. We have disruption in this.
Well, meanwhile, also speaking, ECOWAS ambassador to Liberia, Babatunde Ajisomo, admonished the participants to pay key attention to the training as the topic is crucial to member states.
The principles of preparedness, and that's why you are here, is to prepare you. The other one is the coordination. If, for instance, we give you the necessary tools and methodologies that PNDA requires, if there's no proper coordination among the relevant agencies, we will not be able to achieve the desired objective. Then the third one is the promptness. We're always very late in taking prompt action when disaster occurs. It is because we don't prepare. It is because we don't coordinate well. Coordination in terms of even resources, financial resources, human resources. So the essence of this is to ensure that all relevant stakeholders are well equipped with the tools, with the methodology, to be able to carry out proper needs assessment, in terms of the cost.
Moving on to our next development. Now, an urgent call has been sounded to join hands in enforcing education and sexual and reproductive health in Liberia. Addressing the media session, Planned Parenthood Medical Services Delivery Officer Regina Hodges stressed the urgent need for more awareness on sexual and reproductive health in Liberia.
Health is making sure that men, women, young people can decide freely if, when, and how often they want to have baby. The decision is yours. Decide freely when you want to have your baby, how you want to have your baby. But we are here to give you the information. We tell you that, look, having baby every year as a woman is not good for your health. Having the children very close is not good for you, it's not good for the children. The rate is 2.1 person living with HIV out of the 43,200 according to the National AIDS Commission in 2017. It is equally important that a woman should be able to go through pregnancy and childbirth without danger to herself or the baby.
Well, for his part, the president of the Executive Committee of the Planned Parenthood Association, Dr. Lyndon Mabadi, stressed the importance of sexual and reproductive health.
We talk about planning your family. We talk about
Sincerely apologize for the abrupt change in the visuals there. Moving on to our next story. Liberia Tuesday joined other countries around the world in observance of World Wildlife Day. The day was observed under the theme, Sustaining All Life on Earth, encompassing all wild animals and plant species as key components of the world's biodiversity. Speaking on ELBC interview, Forestry Development Authority Managing Director C. Mike Doyen re-emphasized the FDA's stance on illegal poaching of wild animals in Liberia.
7 years of World Wildlife Day. In Liberia, this is the first time that we're celebrating this day. So it appears that we've been having a couple of firsts. Last year, the first World Chimpanzee Day. Earlier this year, the first World Pangolin Day was celebrated here. Today is the first Wildlife Day that we are celebrating here, even though other countries are celebrating 7th World Wildlife Day. But we got a very good message and something to lift up our spirit on this celebration. About a year ago, one man took a lot of people into the forest in Gola, gave them single barrel. He himself had an automatic rifle, and he threatened to kill or shoot anybody who attempted to remove him from that forest. 1 year, we've been making effort to have that man arrested, but to no avail. About 2 days ago,
in foreign news now, the last Ebola patient at the quarantine center in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been released. According to the WHO, more than 2,300 people have been killed since the outbreak began in 2018. The WHO's regional director for Africa tweeted that there were currently no cases of Ebola in the country, and she was cautiously optimistic that the outbreak will be brought to an end soon. Well, television viewers, on that notice, I will come to the end of this presentation of LNTV News Live. Recap of the top stories. Central Bank of Liberia announces the reinforcement of its monetary policies aimed at stabilizing the economy. Unfortunately, 5 family members died overnight at their home in Dupero due to suffocation. The House of Representatives cites authorities of the Ministries of Health, Education, Commerce, and Foreign Affairs to appear before that body tomorrow. And away from home, the last Ebola patient in quarantine in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been released. Thanks to all of you for following. Do join us later on throughout the day, or better still tonight at 8 p.m. for another presentation of LNTV News Live. But until then, I've been your anchor, Daniel Ankra. Have a great day from Painesville.